Hi everyone. Have you ever seen a photo you just can't forget? Something that sticks in your mind?
You mean like some pictures you showed us from Sebastião Salgado or Letizia Battaglia? I saved my favorite in my database.
Exactly. The kind of pictures that have power and carry meaningful messages. Ready to see more and hear another story of another great photographer?
I can't wait. And I am ready to add more incredible photos to my collection.
Today, we are discovering Steve McCurry, the photographer behind one of the most powerful images ever taken. But why do you need to know about him? Because he believes something very important, that a single photograph can tell a whole story, full of feelings and meaning, and help people understand human lives and cultures around the world. Steve McCurry was born in 1950 in Philadelphia, in the United States. As a child, he was curious and loved observing people and noticing small details that most people miss. Have you ever spotted something interesting or unusual that others didn't see? That's how many artists begin. Once Steve picked up a camera for the first time, he realized photography wasn't just about taking pictures. It is a language, understood by everyone, that connects people from all parts of the world. Steve traveled to many incredible places, some very difficult to reach, such as Mongolia, India, Ethiopia, and even the Galapagos Island. He often says he feels lucky to have seen so much of the world and to be able to share it with others who may never visit these places. Over time, he realized he was mainly drawn to places where people were struggling for freedom, independence, or even their lives. He understood that with his camera, he could document important moments in history, helping people see and become aware of what was happening in places that might feel far away, yet are still part of the same world we all share. During his journeys, he meets people from many cultures, religions, and backgrounds. But no matter where he went, he noticed something simple yet powerful, something that is often sadly forgotten. Even though people look different, speak different languages, and live very different lives, we all share something, our human nature. Steve is especially drawn to faces. He believes portraits are the best way to tell a story, because when you look into someone's eyes, you can relate to the subject of the picture, you can feel something. And that's where we meet the famous Afghan Girl. In 1984, during a war in Afghanistan, many people had to leave their homes to stay safe. They traveled to nearby countries like Pakistan and lived in refugee camps. Steve McCurry visited one of these camps called Nazir Bog to show the world the war's impact on Afghan civilians. And there he saw a quiet young girl with bright green eyes. Her gaze was striking, full of pride, resilience, and courage, yet also guarded as she had learned to be in a time of war. He took a photograph. That photo became very famous. It was published on the cover of National Geographic, an important magazine that shared real stories about the world through amazing photographs. And these photos traveled all around the world and made people stop and think about what the Afghan people were going through. Steve photographed many conflicts and wars, but he didn't focus on soldiers or battles. He focused on people. Families, children, civilians trying to survive, those who are escaping, enduring, and living through war. One conflict that deeply shocked him is the Gulf War. The Gulf War was a conflict in 1990 and 1991, when a group of countries led by the United States fought to force Iraq out of Kuwait after it invaded the country. It caused widespread destruction, leaving entire areas in ruins and bringing enormous devastation to both the land and the people. Burned landscapes, lakes of oil, animals trapped in it. With these cameras, Steve shows how powerful and devastating human action can be, helping us understand and remember the consequences of war. As if fate wanted Steve there, he had just returned to New York from a 6-month trip in China the night before September 11th. The next morning, he woke up to smoke and screams. Terrorists had hijacked 2 planes which crashed into the Twin Towers. He went straight to his rooftop with his camera just in time to see the second tower collapsing in front of his eyes. He then went down into the streets closer to the World Trade Center, documenting what was happening, the shock, the pain of the people amongst the dust and ruins. His photo will always be a testimony of the terrible attack the USA suffered on that day and help the world not to forget. Another important part of his work had always been capturing cultures and tradition that may one day disappear. In a globalized world where everyone looks more and more alike, he wants to immortalize a group of people who live differently, following rituals and wearing costumes from their secular cultures and tradition. In one photograph, a group of women is praying for rain after 14 years of drought. It is not just an image, it is a story of hope, belief, and tradition. In another photo in Sri Lanka, he captured a traditional fishing method that was developed by local fishermen to overcome food scarcity. Can you guess why they created this elevated method to catching fish? They sit high above the water so their shadow doesn't scare the fish, and they can reach shallow places where boats can't go. Many of Steve's photographs show children. He believes children reveal something very important about society. As Nelson Mandela, a famous leader who fought for equality and freedom in South Africa, once said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's souls than the way in which it treats its children." Steve McCurry is famous for his rich, colorful images. Deep reds, bright blues, warm light. He often used just one camera and one lens, rarely a tripod, because for him, photography is not about the perfect equipment. It is about being present, ready to capture a real moment, a real story. Now it's your turn. Look around you. Can you spot a moment worth capturing? A face, a feeling, a story? You don't need to travel far. Stories are everywhere.
So, what do you take away from Steve McCurry's story?
That photography helps us see what is happening in the world and feel closer to people, even if they are far away.
And that behind every face and every photo, there is a real story, reminding us to take care, understand, and never forget.